that is a beautiful shortbread biscuit. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we are making shortbread, just like Walkers of Scotland. 3 ingredients in our shortbread, so easy to make. But we're going to make it by hand. You can make it by a mixer, and I'll show you a quick way to remember how to put the ingredients together. Let's crack on and show you how to make it. So to our bowl then, our mixing bowl, we're going to add our flour. Now this is just all-purpose flour, and I've got some good old Aussie butter. As you can see, it's room temperature here and it's absolutely boiling. So what we need to do is just cube that butter into our flour, nice and easy. Now you can use a stand mixer for this, like I say, or you can just mix it by hand like we are going to do. So this is a really melted room temperature butter. Okay, so to make shortbread then, the easiest way to remember how to make shortbread, because it's only 3 ingredients. So it's only all-purpose flour, butter, sugar. I'm using caster sugar. You can use whatever sugar you want, powdered sugar or caster sugar. And we've got a pinch of salt. So we'll put our pinch of salt in there. Easiest way to remember how to make this, if you have a butter content, you half it to get the sugar, and then you take the half amount and add it to the butter to get the flour. Okay, that sounds complicated, it's maths. It's not that hard. So I have 400 grams of butter. I half it, I add 200 grams of sugar. So then you add the 200 grams to the 400 grams, you get 600 grams of flour. It is as easy as that. Okay, so let's do it a different way then. Okay, if you have 200 grams of butter, half it 100 grams of sugar, add the 100 to the 200, you get 300 grams of flour and a pinch of salt. Easy. Right, let's get our hands in and get this mixed up. Now, like I say, you can do this with a mixer, but it's just as easy to get your hands in, you know. Bring it all together. It's a bit squidgy this, because it's very hot here today, but not to worry, it'll come together. Now, I must have made shortbread hundreds of times. You know, you can actually put corn flour in if you want to put corn flour in. It gives it a nice crumbly finish, but if you use caster sugar and you don't cream it all up with a mixer, it's still going to be crumbly anyway. Okay, so that's about mixed up. All we need to do now is bring that together in this bowl. Now, depending on your butter content, you know, what you might have to do, and it depends on your country, where you level above sea level and all that carry on, you might have to add a sprinkling of flour to it. You know, we want a nice crumbly mixture. We don't want it all butter and firmed up. It has to be crumbly to give that crumbly biscuit. Right, there's our flour, our dough mixed up. That's come together quite nicely. Okay, I've got a box standard oven tray here, which is going to fit the oven. Now you could make your cookies in something like this with a nice fluted edge like that, and it gives it that nice shell like fluted edge around the outside, but I think we have enough dough to do this whole tray. So what you need to do, you need to get yourself some parchment paper and cut it to the same size of the inside of the tray. And then what we have to do, we have to take our dough, I'm going to split it I think, and we're going to push it down and spread it out. And then I've got a measuring cup here, and all we're going to do is squash it in. Squash it right down on that tray. Bring it all the way in there and squash it down. Work it in. Okay, that is as smooth as I'm going to get it today, you know. Quick 5 minutes on there, that'll do. It's only biscuits, you know. Right, I've got one of these gadgets. Now you don't have to have one of these, but what we're going to do, we're going to mark it out with one of these pastry markers. So we need to put some score lines in our pastry. Now you can just mark it out with a knife if you have a knife and a rule. So we're going to try and keep that roughly the same size. And then what we will have to do, we will have to use a knife this time. So we got those score lines, and what we'll do, we'll come in there and we'll come halfway across with our knife. And then we'll come in there like that. Come in there like that. And then all I'm going to do is just tidy that edge there a little bit with that knife. That's just going to make it easier. When we bake it and take it out, we can cut off the edges, because the edges are going to be a little bit raggy from being in this tin. So that's our biscuit scored up. What we need to do now is take a fork and put some fork holes in there. Okay, so nice and gently then put the fork holes in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go 5 like that in there. So that's our cookies. They're going straight in the oven. Now use whatever oven you've got. I'm going to give this a go because it has a bake setting on here. So I'll turn it on and we're going to go to bake. So we've got the bake flashing on here, and then we've got 140 degrees is what I'm looking at. And we want it about 45 minutes, and I want the fan on low. This has a low setting. Okay, so all we need to do is alter the time to about 45 minutes and then press, and we'll wait and see what the biscuits turn out like. Okay. look at that, biscuits done. Right, what you need to do whilst it's still warm, hot, you have to score out the lines that we put in originally, as you will not be able to break it. So all we're going to do, we're going to let that cool down a little minute, you know, probably about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, and then we're going to take it out and put it on a rack. So let's just patiently wait about 15 minutes. Now just look at that. That is how to make a shortbread biscuit. And look at that. Perfectly light and golden on the other side. That is a beautiful shortbread biscuit. Oh, soft, crumbly. That is amazing. So there we are, another fantastic recipe cooked in this air fryer.